Hello, and welcome back to Cape Corner, where we explore the history, story, and cultural impact of a different character or group every episode. I'm Blue.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Jay.
And we'll be your hosts as we take this journey together. It always feels really fun when I got both of you on for the same episode.
Yeah, it's like the episodes of Power Rangers where the two different teams run into each other.
Oh yeah, team up episodes. God, those were great. Well, depending on which ones it is, but yeah. I definitely love this. I always try to make it something pretty big if I'm going to have both of you guys on, and today is going to be pretty big. I'm not going to waste too much time. Today we're actually, despite my intro, not going to be talking about a character group or whatever I say, because we're going to do a little experiment. These two have never played Kingdom Hearts before, and I'm sure I've mentioned this on the show before. I'm autistic, so whenever I'm either 0 or 100, I either have no interest in something, or when I start to gain an interest, I obsessively study over it. And Kingdom Hearts, I adore Kingdom Hearts, and I know an uncomfortable amount of Kingdom Hearts. So, let me ask you both to start. Is there anything of this series? What do you know about Kingdom Hearts?
Okay, so I know that it's like there's Disney characters and there's some other franchise of video game characters involved.
Isn't it Final Fantasy?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's Final Fantasy and Disney, and that's it. That's what I know.
I know that Donald Duck is the most OP character in general.
Okay, yes. My own excitement is my own downfall. I did tell Jay that there's a video breaking down about how Donald Duck is a multiversal god destroying level being.
Oh my god.
We'll get there someday. Don't worry. I'll explain it. I will explain it. Trust me. That's the whole point. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Kingdom Hearts started off as a video game that came out for the PlayStation 2, I want to say circa 2002. It's a joint venture from Disney and Square Enix. Square Enix being the company that owns Final Fantasy, as well as some other products, like The World Ends With You, which was a very popular Nintendo DS game some 10, 12 years ago. So the entire premise of this series supposedly came from a time when a bunch of Disney execs were temporarily staying in the same building as Square Enix execs in Japan. And one of the higher ups from each company actually got into an elevator ride together and was just offhandedly like, wouldn't it be crazy if we made like a video game together? And from there, the idea spiraled into the insanity. Kingdom Hearts as a game series seems kid-friendly, incredibly deep, thought-provoking, and painful. Oh my god, I've cried over this series far too much. The amount of water I've ejected from my body in regards to Kingdom Hearts could make a new human being. So, before we get okay, I need to say this real quick. We're not even going to hit Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm going to be explaining the story in chronological order. Some may find this blasphemous, but fuck you. So, not only do I have to explain 2 other games before we even hit Kingdom Hearts 1, I also have to explain some universal concepts so that you guys aren't being left behind when I quickly mention things.
Mm-hmm.
To start, what is a heart? The series often refers to a heart, and I will tell you, they talk about the physical blood pumping organ only maybe once, or if you really push it, twice in the entire span of this story, which has been going for almost 20 years now. No, whenever they refer to a heart, they refer to a metaphysical substance within the body. It is like, you know how if someone says, oh, she broke my heart, or I love this with all my heart, or I put my heart into this project. That's what they're talking about, but it's an actual tangible thing. So a person in Kingdom Hearts is made of three main distinct components: the body, the heart, and the soul. The heart deals with emotion, memories, and your bonds with other people. I should also say, I want this to be interactive. If you guys have questions, please ask them.
Okay.
All right.
So the soul deals with your general personality as well as your willpower, your desire or drive to achieve some sort of goal. All people have hearts. Animals have hearts. Beloved objects can even have hearts. So think of how like a cloud produces rain, but that rain can coalesce into a puddle, which then evaporates and makes a new cloud. Emotions projected from a heart can slowly condense into a new heart, which actually winds up outside of this game franchise completely explaining Toy Story, like the movies. Because we're never given an explanation in those movies about how these toys come to life, and why only some things are alive, but like some things aren't. Because it's very conceptual, right? Like, what do you define a toy as? And why would like your fucking favorite mug or something not come to life?
Yeah, having
But
Forky or whatever turn into a sentient being, that really fucked with my head, man.
yeah. So it
is
Kingdom
Forky
Hearts,
playable in Kingdom Hearts?
No,
That's
but Buzz
That's a
and
shame.
Woody are.
Wait,
If they don't give us Forky, we riot.
Maybe in the next one.
I do have a question.
What's up?
So Kingdom Hearts is the combination of Final Fantasy and Disney. Story-wise, how did that happen? Like, is it just a whole new universe, or did those their own stories just like go through a portal or some shit, and now they have combined worlds?
I will explain it in more detail, but I will tell you now. The game is separate. So you know how like there's video game levels? The levels are distinct worlds that the characters have to travel through space to get to. They're like floating planetoids almost.
Okay.
And each one is a different Disney world, but some of the worlds have some of the Final Fantasy characters on them. And so you wind up meeting and befriending all these different characters within their own worlds, typically.
Okay.
The main character Sora and his band are sort of like interplanetary or maybe interdimensional travelers. It's left extremely ambiguous and vague about what exactly a world is, but it's shown with the aesthetic of being separated by some sort of cosmological space. So I tend to believe that they're actually floating planetoids. Okay, so speaking of worlds, worlds also have their own hearts, because you know, if you grow up in a place, you tend to form strong feelings about that place, and those emotions of the citizenry of that world again coalesce to form a world's own heart, which typically exists inside the world as like its core. And they are protected but accessible by a keyhole hidden somewhere in the world. And if that keyhole becomes like revealed, then things or people can actually get into the heart of the world. So they stay very closely guarded and hidden. All hearts consist of both light and darkness, with a few exceptions that I'll touch on later. They can skew very far in one direction, but they can never be 100% one or the other. Even the best people have a little bit of darkness in them. And even the worst people have a little bit of light in them. If a heart does completely fill with darkness, it becomes 100% dark, overtaken and corrupted by darkness. It will actually physically eject from the body. Shadows will wrap around the heart, and it will form a being called a heartless. A heartless, despite its name, is a heart that has become completely overtaken by darkness. The most common form is a shadow, which is a little, maybe foot or 2 foot tall little creature that sort of hops around and is like, I'm gonna get you, and is completely black body but has big glowing yellow eyes. Yellow eyes is a big sign of corruption from darkness, or at the very least extremely strong attachment to darkness. Now when that happens, a lot of times the body left behind will just sort of fade and disappear from existence. But sometimes a person with an extremely strong will, when their heart leaves their body, their soul is strong enough to maintain life in the body. So the body and soul transform into what's called a nobody. And a nobody oftentimes will transform into a weird, twitchy, white, latex bondage looking creature. Like the most lowest form of nobodies are called dusks, which their mouths are zippers.
Okay.
What's fun though is that other than the dusks and the creepers, which are the lowest forms of nobodies, all nobodies are based on different classes from the Final Fantasy game franchise. Sorcerers, ninjas, assassins, berserkers, dancers, and so on. With that, I will now talk about keyblades real quick. Keyblades are weapons that are giant fucking keys that are used like swords. They can unlock any lock, physical or metaphorical. They can manipulate hearts, but that can only be done with normal keyblades by supremely skilled master level wielders, unless you have a very specific keyblade of hearts, which we'll talk about some other time. That has very specific circumstances to be made. They cannot be wielded by other people. If someone else grabs a keyblade, it will literally vanish and teleport and reappear into its owner's hand again.
That's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a manifestation of someone's own heart, so it will always come back to them. So that it can be summoned and desummoned at will. That can actually lead to really cool moves. Like Sora has a move called Strike Raid, where he throws his keyblade like a lightsaber throw at the enemy. But unlike the lightsaber throw, where it then has to travel physically through space back into the Jedi's hand, literally after it hits the enemy, it just poofs and then reappears, and he immediately throws it again, so he can just throw it at an enemy like 5 times in a row.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So one of the highest level skills that a keyblade has is form change, where it transforms the keyblade into different shapes, lengths, types of weapons, or even vehicles to be ridden. When I say that that's a very difficult move to do, Sora literally doesn't get it until Kingdom Hearts 3, a whole 17 years after the first game.
How old is he in that game?
He's pushing 18, I believe.
Which character?
Damn. Sora.
Okay.
He's the main character of the game. I'll describe him more later. But he's
Is he one of
very,
the Final Fantasy characters, or is he like
No.
original?
He is an original character. There are a lot of original characters native to the Kingdom Hearts franchise.
Okay.
I will specify if someone is from a Final Fantasy game. And it should be fairly obvious when I talk about someone who's from Disney. Otherwise, you can safely assume that these characters are made specifically for this franchise.
Interesting.
Was there something else?
No.
Okay. So Keyblades can be both light and dark, which does not necessarily represent good and evil. It's just they're opposing forces of the universe that have to coexist. But either way, they are especially suited to slaying Heartless and returning their hearts to Kingdom Hearts, which I will describe in a little bit. Don't worry. Heartless will eventually just reform if they're slain by conventional weaponry or magic. Because if you kill a Heartless, all you're doing is, blasting away the shadows. The heart itself just leaves, but it's still corrupted by darkness. So eventually it'll find new shadows to reform the Heartless. But Keyblades can also transform into different kinds of Keyblades from their keychains that are attached. The hilt of a Keyblade has a little dangling keychain from it. And these keychains are formed from the owner's hearts based on memories of places or certain experiences that they've undergone or bonds with other people. Most Keyblade wielders can hold a few keychains, especially skilled ones can hold maybe a dozen. So they can change their Keyblades to suit different situations, or just for aesthetic, because it changes their appearance.
Does it change anything else besides their appearance, like stats or
It
otherwise?
does.
Okay.
Yes. So in most of the games, it can change the Keyblade's reach to make it shorter or longer, and thus alter how close you have to get to enemies to fight. It can change their strength or their magic output. And in Kingdom Hearts 3, it actually changes what form changes your Keyblade can undergo.
Okay.
Some Keyblades will turn into like spears. Some will turn into guns. So that is all affected by what keychain is attached. Now, Keyblades can either be summoned naturally from people who have powerful hearts. Some people, not everyone has the potential. Or they can be bequeathed to newer generations by master level wielders. A master level wielder will have a new person touch the handle of their Keyblade, and that will unlock the ability for the new person to manifest their own Keyblade. It should be noted that doesn't necessarily mean that they will get that same Keyblade. It just means they'll be able to form their own.
Okay.
But Keyblades can also be passed down willingly from owner to owner. There's a special Keyblade called the Kingdom Key, which is granted from Kingdom Hearts itself, which, again, I'll talk about, don't worry, in times of great crisis. The Kingdom Key is sort of weak in its natural form, but it can generate like over 100 keychains. So, unlike a typical Keyblade, it can always be whatever it needs to be to suit a given situation. And now let's talk cosmology. Did you guys have any more questions about Heartless or Keyblades or Hearts before we move on?
Not yet.
No, I don't.
All right, I tried to make this as comprehensive as possible to, keep confusion to a minimum. So, as for the cosmology, the universe is divided into different realms. There's the realm of light, where most worlds exist. This is what you can think of as the typical universe. There's the realm of darkness, where worlds and beings that have been corrupted by darkness disappear to. Worlds can actually pop out of existence when corrupted by darkness. If Heartless gain access to the keyhole and swarm the heart of the world, because Heartless are constantly looking for new hearts. They feel a hunger, an attraction towards hearts, and they wind up attacking people and places, corrupting them, turning them into Heartless as well. And in terms of worlds, they will blink out of existence only to reappear in the realm of darkness. Where at that point they're basically ghost towns that are just part of an empty environment. Now, pureblood Heartless spawn in the realm of darkness. They just sort of come out of the darkness of the universe itself. Emblem Heartless, which are the ones that have the signature emblem that you might have seen, it's the symbol of the Heartless. They form from people whose hearts were corrupted by darkness.
Okay.
And because of their ability to attack people, corrupt them, form more Heartless, they can spread like a plague if left unchecked. And the last realm to talk about is the realm of sleep. If worlds themselves, due to some great trauma, fall into comas, they will appear within the realm of sleep as dream worlds. And as dream worlds, memories of the past that took place in that world will play out as if they're occurring in the present. Time means very little here. The realm of sleep is also where some people will experience dreams. And it is also the place where an area called the dive to the heart can occur. Whenever there's complicated shit going on in someone's heart, it is visualized as a black space with big columns and pillars, where the surface of these columns are made of stained glass portraits of people. There's a lot of very beautiful stained glass imagery of Disney characters and Kingdom Hearts characters that come from this.
Wasn't that in the original Kingdom Hearts game? The first one?
Yes. That is the tutorial level.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So Sora will often dream and go through some heart exploration or evolution in his own dive to the heart. Though notably, typically if you enter your own dive to the heart, the stained glass images of yourself and maybe a few of your closest friends or bonds. But as he was exploring, he wound up exploring stained glass columns of Belle from Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella from Cinderella, Snow White from Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, and then a fifth stained glass area, 3 princess-shaped silhouettes that had no images filled in. And that will be important later. So the dive to the heart, despite being a conceptual peek into what's going on in someone's heart, it actually does sort of exist in a physical space within the realm of sleep. You can consider that like astral projection. Like their sleeping self appears within the realm of sleep and their heart manifests this sort of environment that is representative of their heart. The realm of sleep is also very close in proximity to the final world, which is the last stop before death. Basically, when you die, you appear in the final world, and that's like your bus stop to go on to death.
Oof.
Because it makes sense. Sleep is sort of like a temporary death, so it makes sense that the two are close together.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all the shit that I had to get out of the way in the beginning. Now let's talk about the Japanese-only mobile game. Japanese-only browser game to be played on your computer in a web browser, which was then turned into a mobile game and has had 3 different names. It was first known as Kingdom Hearts Key, Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, and Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. And I should point out, their names, Key and Unchained Key, Key looks like an X with little squiggles on the end, and don't worry, we'll talk about that. So this is a time known as the Age of Fairy Tales. There was a singular, massive world, and its heart was similarly massive. It was so massive, it could not simply exist within the core of this world, as others do. It had to orbit the world as a moon. It is a heart-shaped moon that hangs in the sky. This is known as Kingdom Hearts. They would not tell us what Kingdom Hearts actually was for like 7 years or more. So
Okay.
I'm telling you that now so that there's no confusion. All hearts come from and eventually return to Kingdom Hearts to be recycled and repurposed. Now, as someone whose heart is manipulated, either by jealousy or love or whatever, it can affect their mind and as a result their physical body. Like, you can be made to do things by someone who controls your heart, and that can like make you sicker or healthier. If anyone controlled Kingdom Hearts, they could change the world. So there needed to be a security measure put in place. The Keyblade was created as a security measure, as well as the strongest weapon in the world. Now, here's where we talk about that squiggly X. Okay, Keyblade is not spelled Keyblade. It is spelled squiggly X hyphen Blade. It is not a Keyblade. It is functionally different. Only the fact that these games have subtitles, that is the only way you can discern if someone is talking about the Keyblade or a Keyblade, which is bullshit. To explain, the squiggly X is the Greek letter chi or chi, which has strong connotations to do with death. To avoid confusion, from now on, I'm going to call it the X-Blade, because every time the word pops up on screen, it looks like X-Blade at first glance, and I'm going to call it X-Blade, so you know I'm not talking about a fucking Keyblade, because it's different. Okay, so the X-Blade is the strongest weapon in the world, but it's also extremely hard to get your hands on. If you actually did wield the X-Blade, you would actually have free access to Kingdom Hearts. So, do you have any questions about that before I go on?
Does that? Oh,
No, you go ahead.
does anyone actually wield it? Like, does the player get to?
Not as a weapon in game. Sora will eventually get his hands on it briefly.
So there's just one of these.
Oh,
I've stumbled across a spoiler alert. Okay.
No, it's not that. It's just hard to answer because this game is extremely confusing and complex with its story. So there's kind of one of them, but it can manifest in different ways. it's destroyed sometimes, but then a new different one is made, but it's not the same one that is reforged from the destroyed pieces. So its existence is fluid. Let's put it that way. It can be not there or just appear at times. Sometimes gaining access to the X-Blade is referred to as either reforging it or just forging it.
Mhm.
It's extremely esoteric, like a lot of this series is. I'm sorry. I know
So I
that
think what you're going to have to title this episode and all the other episodes we do on this is going to be Too Long Didn't Play, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Look, I should point out the only reason I have a grasp of this stuff is because when did I start playing? 2006, I want to say.
Mhm.
So I've literally studied the story for 15 years.
Nice.
Okay. There was a black cloaked man. His body is completely covered in this black cloak, black boots, black gloves. His face is shrouded with a black hood with a shadow covering his face. But he is fucking amazing at everything. He is a master of combat. He is a master of magic. He is a master of knowledge and study. He is a master of strategy and planning. So as a result, they wind up calling him the Master of Masters.
Okay.
The Master of Masters, in the fandom, has his name abbreviated as Mom. So if I ever say Mom, I'm talking about the Master of Masters. Just keep that in mind. So back here in the Age of Fairy Tales, the Master of Masters, studying the X-Blade, learned how to create his own weapon from his heart in the image of the X-Blade, and this was the first Keyblade. Mom's Keyblade is called No Name, which spawned as a fucking joke. Because he would have students, 6 students, and one of them, Lushu, at one point asked him, "Hey, we've all named our Keyblades. What's the name of your Keyblade?" And he was just like, "No name." And Lushu was like, "No name? That's a pretty crazy name." And Master Masters was like, "I get it. You know what? Fuck it. It's called No Name." Master of Masters is not an overly serious person. He's extremely goofy. That is not a fucking... I don't mean he's literally goofy. Don't worry. Like, there's actually been some speculation that maybe Goofy is the bad guy. I don't mean that in a literal sense. I just mean he's playful. Oh, God, this is so ridiculous. This is stupid. I'm so sorry. The fact that I had to just say that Goofy is not the main villain of the game.
I don't know, man. I'd have bought it. That dude's deranged.
Yeah. Your dad doesn't just have sex, Maxie. Your dad
What the fuck?
fucks. Have you ever seen that?
I think I have. Goofy is a man capable of anything. You don't know what his limits are, man.
Well, gee, Maxie, how do you think you came around? I was sort of hoping I was some sort of test tube experiment. Okay, so
I don't know why this is a super off-topic thing. I just have to bring this up because it was very funny. But there was a video ranking the different Jokers on how scary they are, and it was the Weekly Planet guys.
Oh, cool.
And they get to Cesar Romero, and he goes, "Look at that! He's got a mustache that he just painted over." And he goes, "This is a man unhinged. This is a man living on the edge. This man is capable of anything. He is the scariest Joker by far."
That's great. I love those guys. They're the whole reason I wanted to do a podcast.
That's my little aside for the day.
Okay. Um, I feel a little bit bad that I'm talking so much. I know that this is like a lecture, and
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
this is effectively a college course on the most complex video game series ever made.
It's funny that you mentioned that. So there is a YouTube video, a YouTube video series called PCP University. It's not named after the drug. It's named after the Procrastinators podcast.
I thought you were going to tell me that there is an actual college course on the Kingdom Hearts franchise.
Well, the thing about PCP University is that it is just a group of friends, but they take it somewhat seriously. The video explaining Kingdom Hearts is like 3 hours.
Damn.
Oh my god.
He literally got his...
We are going to rack up way more than 3 hours.
Yes, because I'm striving to be more accurate and more detailed than the best guy ever, Nate. That's his username, best guy ever. Was in his explanation of the series. I should also point out his explanation of One Piece took 4 hours. But all right, so back to the Master of Masters. So his Keyblade No Name has a weird blue eye with like a sort of feline slit pupil in it, or like a demonic slit pupil. And this is called the Gazing Eye. And he would quickly realize the Gazing Eye allows him to see the future, but only in places where the eye is present and can see.
Okay.
So, in order, he winds up creating like a little time loop here where he decides to pass through the generations to extend his range of vision, and he somehow figures out how to co-opt future keyblades that are made from people's hearts to have them spawn with gazing eyes on them. So just through that decision, he now has access to a bunch of the future that he can see.
That's pretty badass.
Yep. And with this, he creates some sort of master plan. And he writes multiple books of prophecy based on his future sight. So he has 6 pupils, as in students. I can't remember all their names. But the main ones are, so he has a student who is cloaked in black and completely covered up just like him, named Lushu, who I mentioned. It should be pointed out his name is spelled Luxu. This game really loves the letter X, and a lot of characters have the letter X in their name. Lushu is like his main understudy, and the other 5, I only remember one of the 5, or I think one is called Assad. I can't remember which one that is, but the main one is a girl named Ava. And they all wear animal masks and colorful robes, and Ava wears a fox mask. All right, so the 5 that are not Lushu take their books of prophecy and decide to call themselves foretellers as a result. And they use their little roadmaps of the future to help guide younger generations of Keyblade wielders. They each form a union. And these unions basically act as clans or groups or families to help raise up younger Keyblade wielders. The Heartless already exist at this time, so their main job is just teaching them how to protect people and stuff from the Heartless. They all tend to hang out in an area called Daybreak Town, which is like a big central hub for everyone. What the Master of Masters has not told the Foretellers is that he actually slightly altered in each version of the book to give conflicting information, but without telling them that there is conflicting information. The only way you would ever know that there were differences is if you put two of the books side by side and compared them page by page until you notice a difference. So each of the foretellers thinks they have the same copy of the Book of Prophecy. And this is, for whatever his plan's purposes are, to cause and seed doubt and distrust among the foretellers. So, having done all that, the Master of Masters passes No Name on to Lushu, as well as gives him some sort of mysterious black box, which to this fucking day, we still don't know what's in that goddamn box. And then he just vanishes. We don't know what he does, where he goes. He's just gone. And I should point out, this was like eons ago. And yet recently, in the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3, it seems like he reappears in the present day somehow. So we don't know if he time travels or what, but for most of the story, he's just suddenly gone.
Okay.
He has given Lushu specific instructions, but otherwise left the foretellers in the dust. So the foretellers start to take note of, so they've all got little helpers called Chirithes. Chirithes look like cute little stuffed animals that are sentient and just sort of float around and help give instruction to members of the unions. But one Chirithe is corrupted by darkness, and this leads the foretellers to believe that there is a traitor in their ranks, as well as some information from their altered books of prophecy. So there starts to be mounting tensions. The foretellers are arguing amongst each other about who the traitor is, and this causes their unions to start to be on standby and be ready to fight with each other. But no conflict has happened yet. Ava, the fox girl, winds up confronting Lushu, believing him to be the traitor. And when they attack each other, their keyblades clash, and the impact causes a nearby bell and a bell tower to ring. And the foretellers believed, due to their books of prophecy, that the ringing of the bell was the signal that they were under attack by the traitor. So all of a sudden, a war sparks off.
Okay.
This becomes known as the Keyblade War. And it's kind of fucked up. A lot of young kids wind up getting slaughtered and killing each other. A main section that became the main battlefield becomes so scarred and devoid of life from the various battles and magic spells crossing its field. It becomes known as the Keyblade Graveyard, because the dead and cracked keyblades of dead Keyblade wielders wind up getting stabbed into the ground looking like grave markers.
Okay.
Do you have any questions so far?
Not yet.
I really want to know what's in that black box.
Yeah, so do we all.
What's
gonna have
in
to
the box?
You're going to have to wait just like the rest of us on that. So during the battle, the X-Blade appeared. And multiple unions fighting for possession of it caused it to shatter into 20 pieces. 7 pieces were of light, and 13 pieces were of darkness. This isn't necessarily indicative of the blade itself or Kingdom Hearts or the world. It's more indicative of this was caused by some fucked up conflict, so there was more darkness during this event. And Kingdom Hearts itself, as if ashamed of humanity and what it's come to, vanishes behind the cover of clouds, no longer visible in the sky. And all of a sudden, the foretellers and Lushu all vanish, just like the Master of Masters. Ava is still there. She rallies the survivors from all the unions that haven't killed each other yet during the Keyblade War to form a new group called the Dandelions, saying that the world is horribly damaged, but they can still fix it if they work together. And more importantly, Future generations need to learn from this mistake so that they don't repeat the sins of the past. And after this, Ava vanishes. And it is told by an old granny much later on down the line that the children of the world were now stuck in this incredibly dark and desolate world, but the light from their hearts were able to heal the world. However, more realistically, the dandelions combining their power together to heal the world was only possible if they splintered the world into many smaller worlds and scattered them across the cosmos. So they did this. And each of these worlds formed their own hearts over time. And the light generated from the hearts within the cores of these worlds each glow across space. So whatever world you're on, when you look up at the night sky and you see a bunch of lights in the sky that you call stars, they're actually other worlds with other people out there.
I like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. As the ages pass, people wind up forgetting about the original world entirely, and most of them think that theirs is the only world out there. Very few extremely high up world leaders are privy to the information that there are other worlds, but they also deign to keep it secret from their citizenry. King Triton from The Little Mermaid, he is one of the few people that actually knows there's other worlds out there. But he also believes that the knowledge of other worlds existing would cause a panic in his people. So he just doesn't tell anyone. And most tend to follow that model. Daybreak Town, the hub world from the original world, the shell of Daybreak Town becomes Scala ad Caelum, which is Latin for stairway to the sky or stairway to heaven. And it is a seat of power for Keyblade wielders. The dandelions wind up choosing Scala ad Caelum to be their new sort of home base. And it's a really beautiful world. Even though it's like sort of the corpse of the original world, it is gorgeous. And from there, Keyblade wielders sort of spread out and try to find new apprentices to teach their lessons to. So then the eons pass, and now we're many years later into what some people consider to be Kingdom Hearts 0, Birth by Sleep. Okay, before we do Birth by Sleep, one last chance. Any questions about anything from the Age of Fairy Tales before we move on?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. If I'm talking and you do wind up with a question, feel free to just interrupt me.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. There is a young man named Xehanort who lives on Destiny Islands. Now, again, I've mentioned that Kingdom Hearts loves its X names. Specifically starting with Kingdom Hearts 2, they really love names that have an X in them, and if you remove the X, there's an anagram. I assume you guys know what an anagram is.
Yeah.
Okay. Xehanort, if you take the X out of his name is an anagram for two things: another and no heart. And fun fact, everything of Kingdom Hearts up until the present has been called by its creator the Xehanort Saga. Any new game that comes next will be part of a new saga because the Xehanort Saga just ended.
Okay.
So, Destiny Islands. It is one of the many worlds. There's a main island that has a community, like a mayor and a school and homes. And then there's also a smaller island nearby that children row out on boats to play on. Sort of their own little Lord of the Flies their own private island thing. But less fucked up. More they just like play ball and fish and stuff. This world is almost entirely ocean. Sailors report that there is no other land across the sea. There is a special fruit that grows on these islands called the palpu fruit. Legend says that two people who share one will have their destinies intertwined. They'll remain a part of each other's lives no matter what. And in the image of the palpu fruit, which is a star-shaped fruit, sailors started making this custom of making wayfinders, trinkets out of thalassa shells, which are meant to guide sailors back home. They're basically good luck charms so that you don't get lost at sea.
Okay.
Xehanort feels that these islands are a prison surrounded by water instead of walls, and he yearns for more. He winds up getting recruited by a Keyblade master who visited the islands, and he gets taken to Scala at Kylum. He trains alongside his sibling student named Ericus, who, by the way, his name is an anagram for Square. Like Square Enix.
Clever.
And their master, who we never see, like who the master is isn't important to the story, but they own no name at the time that Xehanort joins. It's like on a plaque on the wall. Ericus believes that darkness is pure evil and it must be destroyed and given no quarter in your heart. Because he's seen the Heartless, he believes that they're the perfect representation of darkness. They are just chaos and destruction. So darkness itself must be bad. Get rid of that shit. We don't want any of it. But Xehanort believes that both are forces that are intrinsic to the universe, so it only makes sense that there must be balance, right? Well, Ericus isn't ever going to agree with him on that. He's extremely set in this way. So, in order to achieve their own version of balance, Xehanort chooses to study darkness to balance Ericus's oppressive light. At one point, when he's visiting the Destiny Islands again, he gets visited by a creepy brown bagman. This man looks like he's wearing a cloak made out of a burlap sack. He is hunched over. He seems to be formless. There are no limbs or head or face or anything. There's no body that's really visible. It could just be that he's keeping his hands tucked up under his sleeves. He could just be like, having his face shrouded in shadow like the Master Masters did. But I will tell you right now, there's no body. And he winds up teaching Xehanort how to time travel. And Xehanort goes on a whole big time travel adventure that we will discuss some other time. You don't need to know what all happens with that just yet. Because time travel does get involved in this story, this would be extremely disjointed for the purposes of telling chronological order if I told you what happens from his perspective, because then we would have to jump to a much later game. Okay. So, luckily, it doesn't actually impact him too much. All you need to know is he does wind up returning to the present of Birth by Sleep, but he comes back with little to no memory of the adventure. He is still changed by the experience, but he cannot recall specifics of what happened. So, both Xehanort and Ericus take a Mark of Mastery exam, become deemed worthy, or they're deemed worthy of becoming masters. They separate. Xehanort gains possession of No Name, and they go off to do their own things. Ericus winds up taking home in a place called the Land of Departure, which is a very pretty place. I like it. Big chains that go from sort of like floating island to floating island, and like train tracks. It's an interesting place. Xehanort, now at this point, as I speak, an old man, he believes the worlds are beyond salvation, that humanity needs a fresh start, a reboot. And he believes that Kingdom Hearts still remaining hidden after all of these centuries is proof of his concept. The fact that Kingdom Hearts refuses to shine down on humanity means they're still on the wrong path. And that needs to change. So, Master Xehanort makes 3.5 different plans to control Kingdom Hearts.
What do you
I
mean
say
3.5 different plans?
Well, there's a 4th plan, but it's exactly the same as the 3rd plan with a minor tweak to it.
Oh.
So I just say 3.5. The first plan, create the X-Blade by clashing hearts of pure light and darkness against each other. This is apparently one of the original ways to summon the X-Blade. It's notoriously difficult to achieve, though, because you don't really have access to pure light and darkness hearts. Hearts of pure darkness are heartless. They can be directed by powerful dark beings, but they can't be controlled with subtle orders. If you point at an enemy, and like if you're an extremely dark person and the heartless listen to you, and you point at someone and you go, fight them, but keep them alive, all it hears is enemy fight, and it will fucking kill them. They're able to be given commands, but they're little more than animal intelligence. So, and the flip side, there are now 7 hearts of pure light in the cosmos. So you remember how when the X-Blade shattered into 20 pieces and 7 of those pieces were of light?
Yeah.
This had a sort of echo in the universe, and there are now 7 beings with hearts of pure light that are known as the Princesses of Heart. They tend to be, if not royalty, then at the very least, extremely high-ranking members of the world that are part of elite society in their world. As a result, they tend to typically be sheltered, live non-combative lives. So if you were to try to have a Princess of Heart fight a Heartless, it would just kill her, and the X-Blade would not be formed, because they would not be of equal strength. So he recruits a young man named Ventus to become his apprentice. And a weird thing that, as far as I'm aware, we still don't have an explanation of, Ventus was alive in the age of fairy tales, and he's still alive somehow.
How long ago was the age of fairy tales?
Oh, we don't have an exact time frame, but like a millennium ago, maybe?
Holy shit.
And he's still a kid. I don't know what that's about. He doesn't seem to have any awareness of it. He never mentions it. He doesn't act like an immortal. So
that's odd.
I don't fucking know,
Just
man.
one of those magic things.
I guess. It might be more time travel shit for all I know. I should point out the mobile game, Unchained Key or Union Cross or whatever the fuck it's called these days, it's still going and there's still story being added to it. So there's still little info dumps that we're getting that are slowly unraveling more explanations.
Oh, that's neat. All right.
Yeah. It's more of a slow drip feed of information than an entire game, which is a huge info dump. Okay, so he trains Ventus to be a Keyblade wielder, trains him up nice and strong. Kid's got a lot of potential. He becomes very strong. And then Xehanort's like, good job, kid. Hold still for a second. And fucking cuts through him with his Keyblade. Cuts his heart in half, divvying the heart up into a half of pure light and a half of pure darkness.
Shit.
The heart of pure darkness forms a brand new being named Vanitas. Vanitas is a masked boy, and we don't know if he actually has a face initially, but later on when his mask shatters, he winds up looking like an older version of Sora, or like just teenage Sora, which he'll look like later, or vice versa. We don't know if he had an appearance which informed the way Sora grew up, or if Sora's appearance by genetic standards wound up forming Vanitas's face. We don't know. They look like each other regardless. And there is a reason for that, which I will now explain. So, Master Xehanort's like, yo, check it out. There's a boy that just formed from a heart of pure darkness. He's not a heartless, but that's fucking crazy. Oh, a new unique being that can rival the princesses of heart. All right, Ven, let's. And Ven's just like fucking dead. And he's like, oh, shit. So Ven's not actually dead. He is dying, though. He's left with a heart of pure light, which, again, outside of the princesses of heart shouldn't be possible outside of Xehanort's fuckery. But his heart is severely damaged by the process. And Xehanort is ready to call him a failure, say that he's just dead, and leave him be. However, at this moment, by happenstance, a heart is traveling across the ether of the cosmos from Kingdom Hearts to a newborn baby to, form this new life. And along the way, it actually runs into Ven's damaged heart. And feeling pity, it kindly shares some of its strength to help repair Ventus's heart. It is not enough to fully fix Ventus, but it is enough to make him able to recover. The heart goes on to fill its little baby body, and a bond is forged between these two hearts. And we'll get back to that. Ven is alive, but he's still kind of zombie-like, and Xehanort realizes he's in no shape to battle with Vanitas. So he takes him to Master Ericus to recover and train back up. Ven's memories of the event are pretty much shattered. Ven winds up befriending Ericus's two students, who are both older, at least physically, Terra and Aqua. The three of them wind up becoming very close. Terra and Aqua become sort of like older brother-sister figures to Ven. By the way, his name is Ventus, but every time he befriends someone, he says, "Call me Ven." He's very insistent on that. So Aqua actually heard a story about the Wayfinders from Destiny Islands, the ones made from seashells that are shaped like the Palpu fruit. She says she doesn't have seashells, but she made 3 out of stained glass and metal. They're extremely ornamental and very pretty, and she gives one to each of them. She gets a blue one, Ven gets a green one, and Terra gets a yellow one. She says that these will be good luck charms, and that they'll keep them all connected, and they'll help them find their way back to each other if they ever need to. And as a result, this group becomes called by the fandom the Wayfinder Trio. There's like 4 trios in this game. And then like a 5th one that's just a different roster. You got your main character trio, which is Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Only ever say it in that order. If you ever say those names in any other order, it's incredibly cursed. Trust me on this. Because whenever they introduce themselves in the game, no matter who is saying it, they always specifically say, "We're Sora, Donald, and Goofy." And they say that a lot. And I think one time they say it in a different order, and it's just like, oh God, no, stop. Why did you say that? But there's like the Wayfinder Trio, there's the Destiny Trio, there's the Sea Salt Trio, and then there's the Disney Trio.
Okay.
So, don't worry, I'll talk about them later. But for now, focus on the Wayfinder Trio: Ventus, Aqua, and Terra. So Terra and Aqua are ready for their own Mark of Mastery exam. Xehanort comes to the land of departure to judge them along with Ericus. Ericus is not aware that Xehanort has nefarious plans. In their battle, Terra Aqua, and darkness naturally manifests in the palm of his hand to help give him an edge, and he has to fight to keep it down. Ericus is unhappy, but Xehanort is pleased and decides to add an alteration to his plan. Is named a Keyblade Master. Terra gets bummed out, and he leaves and goes outside, where Xehanort tells him, and darkness shouldn't be feared. It should be controlled. I mean, it's an important part of nature. Ericus is an idiot for thinking you should have no darkness in your heart. No matter how hard you try, you're always going to have a little. So you shouldn't be afraid of having it. You should just learn to master it, like any other tool at your disposal. And Terra's like, oh, that makes me feel better. Thank you, sir, who's clearly not a bad guy. While this is happening, Ven is confronted in his own bedroom by Vanitas, who tells him Terra's going to disappear forever unless you go after him. Oh, better get going, Ven. Bye. And Ven's like, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, God, anxiety. And he goes after Terra. Meanwhile, Ericus and Aqua get contacted by Yen Sid. Have you two seen Fantasia?
No.
Yes.
Okay, Jay, you said no?
Yeah.
Are you aware of The Sorcerer's Apprentice?
No.
It's the most popular part of Fantasia. Have you seen an image
that's
of
like
Mickey
the only
Mouse?
part that anyone usually remembers of Fantasia.
Yeah. Have you seen an image of Mickey Mouse wearing a blue wizard hat and red robes?
Yeah.
It's my favorite Disney picture.
That's from The Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's the story of Mickey is like a lowly assistant to a great wizard named Yen Sid. And when Yen Sid goes to bed one night, he steals his hat and starts practicing magic. And he animates a bunch of broomsticks to do the chores he's supposed to do. But he gets lazy and doesn't pay attention. And it winds up flooding the entire wizard tower. And it's almost entirely silent. The only noise is music, as most of Fantasia is. And it only ends when he cannot control the magical power anymore. Everything's about to get destroyed. And then Yen Sid wakes up and just sort of angrily glares and takes his hat back and with a snap of his fingers fixes everything.
Okay.
Wait, so Yensid is in this?
Yes, he is in Kingdom Hearts.
That's pretty badass. I really like that.
He's a retired Keyblade master.
Okay.
He does not use Keyblades anymore. He has chosen to focus solely on magic. I would also take this opportunity to point out,
in case Jay didn't notice, Yen or the listener, Yensid is Disney backwards.
Oh, I didn't.
That's what I was going to say. Just as Ericus is an anagram of square, Yensid is Disney backwards.
I think that's really cool. I like that in the I think it was on ABC, the series Once Upon a Time, they referenced the Sorcerer's Apprentice thing. Did you all ever watch Once Upon a Time?
No.
No, but I watched the live action Sorcerer's Apprentice movie, which I actually kind of liked.
Okay, well there's a series called Once Upon a Time that if you don't know the premise, it's like this fairy tale city that's like all these fairy tale characters turn out to be real, and they were all sent to our world and had their memories wiped by a magical curse. And then there's 5 seasons of this shit. And it's
That's just fables! Those fucks!
Yeah. And at some point...
Sorry to interrupt your interruption real quick. Those of you who don't know, there's a comic series called Fables that did that exact thing before it. If you've ever heard of the Telltale Games video game, The Wolf Among Us, which is great.
I loved it.
That was fantastic. It's based on the Fables comics. Anyway,
okay.
Continue.
So in Once Upon a Time, there's all kinds of shit. We could do a whole few episodes on me explaining the plot of Once Upon a Time, which we maybe should do after we do our Kingdom Hearts crossovers. But there's a deal where we find this sorcerer, but he says he's just the apprentice. and we never actually meet the sorcerer, I think, but we see the hat, and it's that same blue. Like, these are all people. These aren't like magic, you know. But it's just this old dude who says he's the sorcerer's apprentice, and we see the hat, and it's that same blue hat with like kind of weird cosmic patterning on it. And it was a really cool reference, and there is a part where Rumpelstiltskin turns him into a mouse, and I was like, "Oh, holy shit! That was it was a good tie-in."
It's pretty good.
Very good.
I assume he's not played by Jay Baruchel.
I doubt it.
Damn, it's a shame. For those of you who don't know, there is a live-action Sorcerer's Apprentice movie from the early 2010s, and Jay Baruchel, the voice of Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon, among other things, plays the titular Sorcerer's Apprentice, and the sorcerer is Nick Cage, baby.
Yeah.
And they do the thing of like magic is science, but they do it in a nice way where he's like, fucking Jay Baruchel's character, I can't remember his name, is like, you can't tell me that magic and science are the same thing. How could you possibly explain like throwing a fireball? And Nick Cage is like, what is fire? It's like, it's massive motion and heat from atoms rubbing against each other very quickly. It's like, what we do is we control the distance between the atoms with our mind. Imagine the friction building up between atoms in your hand, and you create fire. And Jay Baruchel's like, oh shit, that kind of makes sense.
I love Nick Cage. I don't think I've ever not enjoyed a performance from Nick Cage.
Even the worst things are enjoyable with him.
Yeah.
All right, back on track though. Okay. They get contacted by Yen Sid. His pupil, Mickey, who is the heir to the world Disney Castle, has recklessly run off to fight a new threat. This new threat is called the Unversed. They're like Heartless, but they're unknown. We don't know where they're from. They're brand new. They have to be investigated. So Aqua, being a brand new Keyblade Master, has been given a job by Ericus to go investigate. Terra decides this is a good chance for him to prove himself worthy of the Master title. And I will now mention, in terms of the cosmology of Kingdom Hearts, travel between worlds can be dangerous. The darkness of the void can corrupt you if you do not have some sort of protection. The black cloaks that Mom and Lushu wore, they can protect against darkness. There's also another method called the Gummy Ship. Gummy blocks are squishy, colorful, cartoony materials from space that can stick together to build spaceships to fly through physical space from world to world. Yes, this is real. But the method that Ericus and the Wayfinder trio use is called the Lanes Between. It's more like shortcut portals that give you quick rides through space, but in order to use them, you have to don Keyblade armor for protection and form change your actual Keyblades into vehicles to ride. So they all have little metal sections, little metal snippets on their outfits with like a big flat space that looks kind of like a button. And if you give that a good old slap, it generates a suit of armor around you, and you look like a badass knight. Very famously, the epilogue, the secret ending for Kingdom Hearts 2, showed 3 mysterious figures wearing armor, which we had never seen before, each holding their own Keyblades in a barren wasteland. And people spent fucking years losing their minds and speculating about, could this be Kingdom Hearts 3? What is this? And we all thought, like, could that be the Destiny trio of Sora, Riku, and Kairi, who I'll talk more about later. But it was so wild. Like, it was one of the coolest things we had ever seen. As well as a fight scene that was also in that secret ending. But Terra immediately leaves the land of departure, and Aqua and Ericus come out to see him leave, and they get worried. It gets worse when Ven panics, immediately tries to follow him. Ven has not been trained for this. He is not ready to use the lanes between. So Ericus asks Aqua to 1. Investigate the unversed. 2. Keep an eye on Terra, make sure he doesn't succumb to darkness. And 3. Return Ven home. There is so much pressure put on this poor girl. By the way, I should point out, she is the best girl. She is the wife. I love my blueberry waifu. Which is what people call her because she has blue hair, by the way. Okay. At this point, the Wayfinder trio simultaneously visit different worlds. Occasionally, 2 of them might cross paths, or one of them might see the aftermath of another's earlier visit, but all 3 are not together yet. And you'll find that I will skim over Disney worlds, because largely they're the video game part, not the story part.
Okay.
Just know that they visit the Dwarf Woodlands, which is Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, the Enchanted Dominion, which is Sleeping Beauty, and the Castle of Dreams, which is Cinderella, at this section of the story. This game also has them visit Deep Space, which is Lilo and Stitch, except back when Stitch was in the spaceship before he landed on Hawaii. And a few other places like Neverland. So, Terra finds Maleficent, the famous villain from Sleeping Beauty and other stuff, in Enchanted Dominion. Maleficent mentions that she met Xehanort, and he told her about the Princesses of Heart, and that if she gathered all 7, like the Dragon Balls, it would lead her to ultimate power. So, the Princesses of Heart, once again, they have hearts of pure light, which should be impossible. As a result, they have extraordinary abilities. So, to put this idea to the test, Maleficent calls to the darkness in Terra, puts him in a slumber, like a dreamlike trance, and has him use his Keyblade, Earthshaker, to release Aurora's heart while she sleeps. Maleficent takes it, gets away, and remarks, 1 down, 6 to go.
We're doing some Infinity Stone shit.
Yeah. that won't come back until Kingdom Hearts 1, though. So, Aqua discovers that Terra stole someone's heart and is dismayed. She also encounters the Castle of Dreams for the first time, which will be important in a different game. The Wayfinder trio winds up meeting up again in Radiant Garden, which is a beautiful world ruled by a scientist known as Ansem the Wise. I will always specifically refer to him as Ansem the Wise for extremely specific reasons. I will never call him Ansem because that shit will get confusing.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean later. So the 3 of them they fight a big unverse together, but their relationships are strained by the mounting confusion and tension, and they soon separate again. Terra winds up coming across a mercenary in Radiant Garden named Braig. Braig has supposedly kidnapped Master Xehanort. Braig fights Terra, and he has control over the element of space, so he will zip around and teleport around the battlefield. Sometimes he'll hang upside down in midair or just float. And he has these needle guns, which he shoots at Terra with. So he can be annoying to fight because he'll suddenly appear behind you and start shooting you from behind, and you got to be really quick to react. And it's really hard to get a beat on him and actually hit him. So he pushes Terra to his limit, forcing Terra to embrace darkness. He turns into a dark style of fighting. He overpowers Braig and blasts him with a ball of darkness, which gives Braig a cheek scar on his left side and makes him lose his right eye.
Oh.
Xehanort is extremely pleased with this development. Braig later confronts Xehanort privately, and he's angry at the damage he took. Turns out he struck a deal with Xehanort. Braig was meant to draw out Terra's darkness, and in exchange, he would get a Keyblade. At this point, pissed, Braig with no name, and Braig backs down, pledging to work for Xehanort as his new boss.
Okay.
Then, meanwhile, meets two young men named Lee and Isa. These two, at some point, met a girl in the basement of Ansem the Wise's castle, and she was locked up for some reason. They were kicked out by the security guards, Alias and Dylan, and they're now on their way to sign up to work for Ansem because they tried breaking into the castle multiple times, but they kept getting chased out. So they figure if they can't beat them, they're going to join them, and they're going to try to use their employment to help this girl. Lee specifically sees Ven is down in the dumps. He cheers him up and befriends him. Lee is one of the best characters in the series, just so you know.
Okay.
Aqua, also in Radiant Garden still, winds up protecting a little girl named Kyrie from the Unversed. Kyrie accidentally grabs the handle of Rainfell, which is Aqua's Keyblade at the time, while she's trying to hide behind Aqua. So she accidentally gets bequeathed by her. Which again means that she will someday be able to wield a Keyblade.
Okay.
After beating the Unversed, Aqua places a magical charm on Kyrie in the form of a little teardrop-shaped necklace pendant, so that if Radiant Garden ever falls, Kyrie will be warped away somewhere else to safety. Terra winds up starting to meet with Master Xehanort once in a while at the Keyblade Graveyard, which has remained and turned into its own world. Xehanort continues manipulating Terra's trusting nature. All three of them separately find themselves drawn to the Destiny Islands, and here they each encounter two young boys, Riku and Sora. Sora is the boy whose heart wound up repairing Ventus's damaged heart. At this point, he's like 4 years old, so it's been a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have a bond. Now, let's talk about theming for a second. Sora is the Japanese word for sky. Riku means land, and the Kai in Kairi means sea. Ventus is Latin for wind, Terra for earth, and Aqua for water. So you've got sky and wind, land and earth, sea and water.
Okay.
And this is because they are like sort of parallels to each other in their different trios.
Cool.
Terra sees that Riku is a little kid who is super strong, super smart, and super cool for his age. Also with a heart of gold. He winds up thinking that Riku has a great amount of potential and that some shit's probably going to go down soon. So just in case, he bequeaths Riku and promises him that if someday Riku ever manages to travel far away from here and find Terra, Riku will have the power to protect what matters, like his friends. And this instills a sense of curiosity of the outside world and an intense desire to explore in Riku.
All right. I am sorry to cut in here, but it is time for me to bail out. This will make the next episode of this very funny when I'm a little bit lost for whatever's discussed for the rest of the time.
Well, we can actually stop here, and I will continue talking about what happens on Destiny Islands and the end of Birth by Sleep.
Oh, that works
next
too.
time we do it. I probably should have told you guys to take some notes, because I'll be naming names again, and I'll probably have to explain who they are again.
We'll catch on.
Yeah.
All
right.
The fun of it.
Well, with that, we will leave you here. Listeners, I hope that you found this as enjoyable as I did. I know that this is an incredibly niche thing. Well, it's not niche. It's one of the most popular game series of all time. But the idea of me explaining it to complete ignoramuses is kind of niche. So if you guys want to discuss whether you did or didn't like this episode, feel free to join the Discord. There's a Cape Corner Discord where we will have polls for suggestions for upcoming episodes. Jordan, you are at Jordan Blueman on Twitter and Instagram and all over the place.
Everywhere.
Jay, You Are Shit Poster of America on Facebook. I am at Beyond Blue 13 on Twitter. I get political and shit, so follow at your own peril.
Oh yeah, so do I. If you want to only follow my fandom related thoughts, go to at Fandom Optimists. Don't follow my political account.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the only one out of you two that don't get political.
Well, you're also the youngest of us. Give it a few years.
Wait, how old is Jay?
I just turned 21 on the 24th.
Oh, a child.
A baby.
Sorry, I don't have any gray hair yet, like Blue.
Oh, I will fucking throat chop you next time I see you. But yeah. Trust me, I also didn't give a shit about politics. Then I started having to buy my own food, and suddenly it mattered.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else? Feel free to support the series. I do this almost for free. The only ad revenue I get is the occasional Anchor advertisements I do here.
I do it completely for free because my show doesn't get enough viewership to even make ad revenue.
I feel bad.
Yeah, I don't care. It's just for shouting my thoughts into the void. That's the fun of it.
Do go listen to Phantom Optimist. It's a great series. It's a lot happier than mine is, and I do feature on there sometimes. So
and he will this weekend as well.
Woo! All right. Any final thoughts from either of you two?
My final thought is never ignore when your car makes a weird noise. It will get more expensive the longer you ignore it.
God, it's always hard shit with you. Some of us can't afford cars.
Where do you think I'm going?
Yeah, what do you guys think of this story of Kingdom Hearts so far?
It's already confusing.
It's Lord of the Rings level fascinating. Like I can't believe someone came up with this complex of a backstory for this world.
We've only started the beginning. We haven't even finished Birth by Sleep yet.
Oh boy.
And the ending of Birth by Sleep is really the most complicated part of it. And then that's not even Kingdom Hearts 1 yet. And then Kingdom Hearts 2 is the one where people go, oh, now this is getting crazy.
Oh boy.
We don't even jump the shark with time travel until the 3DS game, so that's much later.
Oh my god.
So, all right. Well, I am excited to see if you guys wind up continuing to be able to follow along as we go. But we won't do these super often. I'll give it a month or two, and then we'll do another one. Unless that's too long and you guys will forget everything by then, we'll figure it out.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. All right. So I think that's it for today. Follow us on all our things, join the Discord, and everybody, I normally say stay strong, stay true to yourselves, and remember we can all be heroes. But for Kingdom Hearts, I feel instead I'm going to say, no matter how bad the darkness in your heart, deep down there's a light that never goes out. All you got to do is turn the key.
Ah, beautiful.
There's a lot of that talk in this series, so I thought that was appropriate. All right, everybody. See you next week.